Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. How are CIG planning to get Star Citizen 1.0, a commercial release, not an alpha, but actually out the door? So they've outlined the features that the game will have when it gets there now. This is a summary of the CitizenCon 2954, the Stars My Destination Star Citizen 1.0 presentation with some additional context as I was able to talk to some devs afterwards. This was the most important presentation on the future of Star Citizen, and it answers so many long-standing questions and sort of outlines what the game is going to be. So let's start. There is no hard date for 1.0, and some of the features that it has will actually be coming out over the next few patch releases. So you'll be getting some of these features much earlier than others, and there's still going to be an alpha 4.1, 4.2 patches, and more before 1.0 is ready. Once all the features that we are about to discuss are out, they consider 1.0 to be released, and there will be a major change when that happens. When they actually release, there's going to be no more resets. So once 1.0 launches, everything you do in game has meaning, or at least can have meaning. Also, after 1.0 is released, new features coming to the game will be in a ready for release state, not tier 0 anymore. Assumedly, they'll be testing out features in PTU and Evocati phases and really iterating on them before they come into the game. CIG did make clear, though, the game has changed since its inception over a decade ago. One of the major changes is physicalized planets and the freedom of landing there, changing what was primarily a spaceship game with a couple of landing zones on each planet to a much more in-depth FPS and space sim hybrid. Although they are planning to eventually have 100 plus star systems, Star Citizen 1.0 will have a very modest 5. Stanton and Pyro, obviously Stanton we already have, Pyro's coming, and then Nyx, and then Castro, which is this sort of military stronghold. One of their main locations is the Fortress in the Sky, but it's sort of turned into a more business parky civilian area. And finally, the 5th system is Terra, which was a bit of a surprise because that's quite a hero system. That's sort of like the new Rome. These 5 systems will give you a huge range of gameplay, whether you are a PvP player, a PvE player, a non-combat player, or a mixture of those, from the relative safety of Terra to the war-torn Pyro and Nyx. They're going to be adding a main story, so a set of main story missions that get you into all the different gameplay and roles in Star Citizen, get you around all those star systems that you can stop or start at any time. By completing a main story, you can get citizenship, which will give you the right to buy land claims in the more lawful systems, and get some other stuff like transferable warranties for your ships. I don't know what level of paths they have for this, if it's just for lawful players, if it's for lawful and outlaw players that can make use of completing the main story. Yeah, there could well be pathways going on lots of different directions and sort of sub-pathways. Maybe there'll be ones for, you've got to the mining section, you can sort of come back to it later, or you can go into the salvage, aerial combat stuff. Maybe there are branches within that, but you don't have to actually stop at any given one and go back to them later. But this is super important for being able to showcase what you can do in game, and importantly, teach you how to do that as part of the game rather than having to solely rely on other people and external videos. Also, it's likely that the main story missions are going to be pretty high quality and really draw you into the game. Kind of part of this and the mission systems are guilds and an expanded reputation system. So guilds are groups of factions and mission givers that typically focus on a specific type of gameplay or overarching ideology based on what system you're in. Some factions are directly opposed to each other, and you can only side with one of them and not the other in certain situations. Building rep and doing missions for these factions and guilds will advance you in the game, giving you access to new missions, gear, blueprints, ships, other guilds and factions, discounts, locations. They also give you a group to work with, context and a framework for missions and gameplay that you sort of want to do, as well as progression along that path. There are loads of guilds, and they take all of the different gameplay that Star Citizen has to offer and make it part of one of the orgs, or lots of orgs have lots of different sort of arms, but they are working towards a single goal or ideology, as I said. There's also StarSim, the quantum universe, and that sort of system. Part of that they talked about was the dynamic economy. Now, they want to make sure that they reduce inflation in game, they want to make money matter, and they outlined the tax and insurance systems. So taxes will be payable on bases within safe territories. You're basically paying for the cost of your land claim and the planetary shielding, which will effectively make your bases invulnerable in those locations, as long as you pay the tax, assumedly. There's also inheritance tax, which will be part of Death of a Spaceman, and you'll sort of pay that if your character dies and you have to create a new character. You'll get all your possessions and UBC and stuff like that, but there is a tax to pay on it. That mortality system, Death of a Spaceman, is also obviously part of 1.0. Again, part of that, there's health insurance for hospital imprints, cloning, respawning, all that sort of stuff. But they didn't go into too much detail about this. They did, however, talk about ship insurance and really explained how this would work. So, ship sport in game. If you don't insure a ship that you've bought and then you lose it, it's gone. You will be warned when you spawn it. They'll go, this ship doesn't have insurance. If it gets destroyed or whatever, you will lose it. Are you sure? So you'll be warned with that. Though, they did also say that if you bought a ship with real money, you will be able to recover that ship at a fee, even if it was uninsured. So just bear that in mind. There's a level of statutory insurance on ships bought with real money. Ship insurance comes in 3 levels. Level 1, you get the value of the base hull of your ship paid out. The default ship as if it had been bought from the shop. Level 2, you also get the value of your components. And obviously at higher level, your components may well be more valuable than your ship. Level 3 also includes the value of other customizations and decorations. If you just have insurance on your ship, you get paid out in UEC. However, if you also have a warranty on the ship, then instead of getting UEC as a payment, you'll get the ship back. So level 1, get your ship back. Level 2, you get the ship and any components you changed back. Level 3, you also get the decorations and other customizations you made. So effectively, if you've got a warranty and you get level 3 insurance, then you're getting the same ship that you lost back. Warranties, though, are effectively invalid without insurance. They follow the hull of the ship, basically, and go, if you insure a ship with a warranty, you get your ship back. And assumedly, you don't want the faff of having to go and get all that stuff again. And also, the value of the UEC that you're paid may not be enough to cover everything again. When getting your ship back with a warranty, insurance and warranty I should say, then there is a timer. The bigger the ship, the longer that timer will be before you actually get your ship delivered, so bear that in mind. Starter ships, they said, would be readily available though. Lifetime insurance ships, they come with a permanent warranty and level 1 insurance, although you can upgrade that to level 2 insurance, level 3 insurance by paying the extra in-game. There will be earnable warranties as well that you can apply to your ships, like when you complete the main story and become a citizen. So citizenship is a thing that you will get for completing the main story, and potentially through other routes like completing Squadron 42, I believe. They basically follow the hull of the ship warranties. So bam, put this on this hull. You can transfer at least some warranties, but the ones that are transferable have a cooldown. They also talked about getting courtesy shuttles to get back to your original ship, which is going to be preferable compared to claiming on them. So if for some reason you've just been a dum-dum and you have fallen over and hit your head and respawned somewhere, but your ship was actually in safe space or whatever, then you just get a shuttle back to your ship. Great, you don't have to claim it. What's this? A Tobii eye tracker ad? Exactly what you wanted. The Tobii eye tracker gives you natively supported high precision head and eye tracking for Star Citizen and a load of other games for that matter. This is perfect for greater immersion in Star Citizen, for looking around your cockpit while in combat, or just quantum traveling around the verse. There's a load of cool bits like Tobii Ghost, so you can see where eyes are looking, or other people can if you're recording it or showing it to like viewers or whatever. But also you got camera boost, which is like mouse acceleration for your head. Until the 28th of October, you can grab 15% off by using the link below. There's also a sweepstake running where you can grab yourself a Star Citizen ship and starter pack. Again, links below. Now, back to the video. Ships can be marked stolen by the player that owned the ship, or if they put an insurance claim in and marks them as stolen, a dead man switch will activate. Stolen ships will eventually cease to function after some time, though players with high enough rep with one of the criminal organisations, like the council, will be able to circumvent this, basically getting a new deed for the ship saying, no, this is a legit ship, honest. But if you don't do that, then you can just salvage it or take it apart at a hangar or whatever. They talked about base building earlier at CitizenCon, but that's on the ground. You've got base building on the ground. That's going to be coming before 1.0 and all that sort of stuff. Something that's going to be coming after base building on the ground is station building. But this is more for end game for orgs or big groups that are industrious enough to gather all the materials and protect their assets. So these can start to be built by the Pioneer space stations. They basically deploy the cargo and building section of the rest of the station, which will then be built out from there. These are absolutely massive undertakings. They can be hugely upgraded with a ton of different facilities, from storage, refining, hangars, science stuff, but also dry docks for building and maintaining ships of up to a Bengal size. You can build a Bengal, which is just a ridiculous sized ship. Just to give you context, if CIG had sold a ship like that, it would be like $5,000+ or something like that. These massive upgradable stations can also be connected together. So you can have multiple stations all connected together like a little lattice network if they're near enough each other. Raiding a station will be a difficult task. You'll have to punch through their defenses to get the loot and get out. They said they were incredibly, almost indestructible sort of thing. It's a bit vague on how you destroy them or capture them, with the sort of gameplay here being more penetrating them, stealing all their resources is what it looks like. However, CIG did say in safe systems, your bases have planetary shielding and are invulnerable as long as you pay taxes. However, Nix and Pyro, they're more like the Wild West. You can kind of build anywhere you want, pretty much, but you'll need defenses. Orgs can also compete in those systems to get seal tokens, which provide planetary defense shields in the same way that they do in a sort of safe system, so you're effectively invulnerable in these more dangerous systems, but you're sort of competing against other orgs to get these seal tokens that only protect you for a certain amount of time. You're basically just paying for protection in those star systems. They didn't specify if you could build stations in other systems other than Pyro and Nix. Assumedly you can, but you'll have to pay land claims or space claims and taxes. Space stations have a huge amount of customization. You can do huge amounts of internal customization as well, so loads of rooms. You can build loads of additional sections of them. They are massive, they are endgame, and they are very, very exciting. Everything else they showed at CitizenCon will be in Star Citizen with 12 to 18 months, they said as well. So this includes the new biomes like swamps and jungles, dynamic weather and storms, sandworm raids, specialist equipment and armor and gear, organization tools, sort of party finder, all that sort of jazz, instance dungeons, crafting, drones, base building, new ships and vehicles, and much, much more. Now, I also talked to Benoit Bézigeau after the presentation, and he confirmed dynamic server meshing is also a requirement for 1.0. They said they're going to be obviously working on that. They want to make the game an MMO before it gets to 1.0 at the biggest scale they can. I also talked to Jake Acapella, and he said there will be a Star Citizen 1.0 section added to the roadmap in the not too distant future. It's going to be like a high-level view of getting there. He also mentioned that master modes are going to be getting the love and attention they need. We're going to be making them great. He said they're not ready yet, but with the additional features coming and then the iteration we're going to make on top of that, they're going to be in a really good state. Obviously, this comes before 1.0 is released. Chris Roberts did also say that Star Citizen is a living game and will keep being updated. There isn't going to be a Star Citizen 2, though they're going to keep on improving and improving and improving it. There may well be a Star Citizen 2.0 as they sort of build and keep on upgrading it, but you're not going to have to buy a new game. It's just going to be Star Citizen constantly improving, because obviously he's heard people say, oh, the engine's going to be dated by the time we release. He's saying, no, there's not. Look at what we're doing. Chris also mentioned VR support and said that is something that's going to be coming, but he didn't say if that was a 1.0 thing. Assumedly, that's going to be for Squadron 42 first or coming after 1.0. Boom! That is your summary of getting to Star Citizen 1.0. That is CIG's plans. I'm really interested to know what you think of that. I will link the original presentation down below as well if you wish to watch that. I will probably do deep dives into each individual feature they talked about there, because a bit more was talked about, and it might give you some additional context and we can sort of delve into what we reckon about some of this as well. I did love the fact that they outlined exactly what they mean by insurance now, and I like what they're saying with a 1.0 release of Star Citizen. I think that that content they outlined there, along with obviously master modes being in a good state, everything on the roadmap that's currently there for 4.0, and everything else they showed at CitizenCon will actually put the game into a pretty good state. Yeah, it doesn't have 100 star systems, but then they can start to build to 100 star systems, and 5-star systems at the scale of what the game has become is going to be a ridiculous amount of content anyway. But what do you think? Were you excited by everything you saw at CitizenCon? Disappointed by anything? What do you think of the road to 1.0? Whatever your thoughts or questions, chuck them in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Also, listen to this beautiful, handsome potato chap by getting NordVPN. Click the links below. Get NordVPN! A very long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, CIG had taken over the development of NordVPN. And at CitizenCon, the yearly Nord FanFest, they were releasing their first game, Squadron Nordy 2. It's amazing, and it would truly revolutionize the FPS industry. Then I woke up and realised that NordVPN is already great and released, and it doesn't need an FPS module, it's a VPN. And you should get it now, links below, discount. Helps channel, read bullet points. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For October, it's for a Drake Corsair with a game package and lifetime insurance. All you have to do to be in for a chance of winning that lovely Star Citizen access and ship that can be used for exploration, but it's also this cool little multi-role, multi-crew ship. You just need a comment on any of our videos made during October. That will go into the hat. It's not a hat, it's a spreadsheet. It goes into that, and then a random person is chosen. With the addition of Alpha 4.0 and Pyro, there's going to be tons more to see and explore. The Corsair is perfect for that. Good luck. Please consider supporting the channel as well. We've got the join button under our videos that will make you a channel member. That goes a long way in supporting the channel, as does becoming a Patreon. It's pretty much the same thing, but for different mediums. You can also like, comment, share, or sub, things like that. That all helps with the channel hugely. Thank you so much for your support and watching, and I hope you have a great October.